everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Bottom Line. I'm your host, Lauren Kalil. Our show is brought to you by UCAN. On today's episode, we have Dex Hopkins here with me to discuss the recent news from Tier Wodapalooza. They just announced that they will be selling athlete replica jerseys. We first saw this concept launch about 2 years ago at the games. The first year, athletes were not paid for their jersey sales, but this past year, Noble gave them $20 for every jersey sale. However, only a handful of athletes had jerseys printed for them. Well, in this situation, Dex, Tier is paying athletes 50% of every jersey sold. That's slightly higher than what Noble paid, which was just over 33%. So let's kind of start here with the price of what athletes are getting. 50%, that's a pretty big piece of the pie, especially for an off-season competition and one that brings in massive crowds.
Yeah, and that's Wodapalooza's kind of tag, right? This is the premier outside of like going to get murdered at Dubai. Wodapalooza is the premier thing to do here, like in the off season. It's the best time to me. And I think everybody would agree to that. It's the best time, it's the best scenery. The nighttime with the DJ lights on doing fitness is just you can't rival that anywhere. But these things, I feel like they've also done a lot of things that kind of made a version of it to trickle into the games and stuff like that. And this is just another thing to kind of capitalize on that and push it down the road. I mean, anything that puts money in athletes' pockets like this, especially on a larger scale than they've been able to do in the past, is a positive to me.
And looking specifically at getting 50% of the proceeds, I don't know that we see that very often. And it's just
Ever.
another way that can,
Yeah.
right, like professionalize the sport and really allow athletes to make something off of these jerseys.
Well, yeah. And you said, what did we say? And it's elite individuals and elite teams that are doing it.
Correct. All elite individuals and elite teams were given the option to opt in and have this opportunity in front of them.
Yeah, so good for Tier for throwing a haymaker and saying, "Oh, cool, no bull. This is a Mean Girls Club of people you're going to select, and then you have to be kind of fussed at and peer pressured into picking more people. Then we'll just do everybody that qualifies elite team or individual. And it's a 4-day event now. It's not the old school Friday through Sunday party. So that'll be cool to see. And I mean, you got to think how many more people are able to qualify elite team of three that normally probably wouldn't be able to get to the games to do anything like that and have that available to them. So it's a way bigger net, and I think it'll put pressure on other people to kind of run at that pace in this kind of thing, which it only has good trickle down.
And I do think that you say it puts pressure on other people, maybe other brands to show really what is possible because we talk about the athletes getting a bigger piece of the pie, but also opening this up to more athletes. At the games, kind of as you alluded to, we originally, I think, 13 athletes were given the jerseys. Then Noble came back and said, well, now we're going to put a survey out there to see if we can get additional athletes, some jerseys. Eventually, they ended with 19 replica jerseys. But in this situation, Tier gave all elite individuals, all elite teams, the
Hmm.
option to opt in. And they have a total of 130 athletes that said, yes,
Good for
we
them.
want a replica jersey for us
Yeah.
this year.
Good for them. Well, and I'm impressed with the push they make, right? Like you see how they've saturated the market with their gear and the shoes, and they make a lifter. And I mean, there are people that've been in the space forever, like Under Armour, that still don't make a lifter. There are other brands that don't have one yet, right? So their athletes have to wear another brand when they do weightlifting if they wear that. But Tier has done like just this guerrilla warfare. Hey, we're here and we're throwing everything at everybody head to toe. People that have like a apparel sponsor, like Noah, I know is Just Feet, and people like that. I think some people are just sunglasses. But they have,
Mhm.
I mean, a chokehold on the market that is very similar to what Noble came in and did. But it just seems like, I think everybody can benefit from being a vicarious learner. It seems like that's what they're doing. And just in years past at Wodapalooza, just the beautiful piece of history it is. When it was a Reebok event, the one of the coolest things in the last few years was when they used to do that Reebok the Nano exclusive to Wodapalooza. It was just a custom Wodapalooza Nano you got if you qualified. and you go and you pay to play just like every other facet of CrossFit.
This episode is brought to you by UCAN. Who can? You can. At least I can with UCAN with one of their easy squeeze pouches that give me the energy I need to get through my workout without causing a crash. When I work out early in the morning but don't want to on an empty stomach because we know mid-wad I'm going to be hangry, I grab one of their super easy on the stomach bars. Chocolate almond butter? Yes, please. I may not be a games athlete yet, but UCAN helps me stay focused and energized during my workouts. It delivers steady release carbs for long lasting energy without spiking blood sugar levels, the key to sustaining peak performance and focus and recording videos like these. Trusted by top CrossFit pros like Scott Panchik and Emily Rolfe, get your hands on these goodies and even save 20% on your first order with our code CHALKUP. Link in the description. Now back to the episode.
But that was used to be the coolest thing to me. And I'm sure those shoes are still floating around. Like if you see somebody that has an old dusty pair, I think it was fours and fives maybe that they did it with. But they were so dope, and it was just exclusive. I remember the year it monsooned there, and you had to do like pistols while it was raining, and they changed a bunch of rules. And while you were in the pen, you had to stand in ankle deep water, so nobody wore their Wodapalooza shoes. They would ruin the shoes they brought, so they didn't have to mess those up. But this is really good, man. Like it's an evolution of it. And I've told several people that I know that either work for them or work with them that I really appreciate the way they do things, because it seems like they take care of people, and just the aggressive, like trying to take over the market of people, and I feel like we've had people compete in the space for, kind of a chokehold on athletes and all that, just visibility stuff. And tier this is not their first frontier, so they probably have a little more experience in that realm versus like Noble. It's purely, I appreciate that Noble's a CrossFit brand, but there are things like you're not able to do. Like Tier's been doing this in swimming at a much larger scale
Yeah.
than Noble's been able to do in CrossFit, which, we're still a small sport, at in that scope. But so there's no telling what kind of help Tier has with like swimwear anywhere. I think helps them. Um, their shoes, man. I know Matt that posts a different shoe to his story every day that he's working out with, and like they have a mid-range runner now, the long-range foamy runner, the trainer. I just tested the trainer today, and I actually like. I'm a shoe guy. I don't have anything bad to say about it yet. I've loved the lifter for a month since I've had it. The trainer looks kind of foamy, but it's not. It's super flat, and I'm a flat shoe guy, so I had a good day in that. Um, but yeah, and all the stuff looks good. So, and if you're interest is taking over the market, that's cool. Money's nice, but if your interest is something like this, where you're taking care of the athletes, and Wodapalooza they have an elite division, but it is not like saying you went to the CrossFit game, you're the 0.0001%.
Mm.
There's a little more access to that, the way they do it, and that's their thing, right? There's something for everybody. If you can't qualify elite, there are levels down. And I think every competing athlete's getting a package of shoes and all this Wodapalooza gear. So maybe they don't have access to the making the money with it if you didn't qualify elite, but you have some kind of touch that's personalized to you. And so anything that's for the athletes like that, man, it makes me a bigger fan of what they do, and what you've been able to see since they've been to the market.
Yeah, and I just really love seeing them lead from the front on this. And I don't know when it comes to inventory or what really goes into producing something like this. I do know that these jerseys will only be available for pre-order online.
Mhm. Yeah.
So if people are interested, you want to go on their website. We'll link to it in the description here. You want to get them before they're out because they won't actually be sold in Miami. But Tier gave athletes a 2 to 3 week window to opt into this. So they gave them, some time to think about, is this something that they want to be a part of? And then to see 130 athletes say, yes, we want this other earning potential,
Yeah.
and Tier being able to step up to the plate and deliver on that, I think is just such a good push for the sport and giving this more inclusive space for not just the cream of the crop to have earning opportunities.
No, absolutely. Well, and that's like you said, there's a handful of people who have that trip paid for and are going there to make money, right? And so this is one that people are willing to pay the registration for the qualifier, kill yourself in the qualifier, pay the registration to make the trip, buy the flight, buy the whatever, put 27 people in an Airbnb or whatever it is you got to do, because of the experience you get there. And it's so fun. Like it is a community-based event, and that's why they have 9,000 divisions, and I've always appreciated that. And it is mass organized chaos, but they do a great job no matter who's been steering the ship, whether it was Guido, Loud and Live, or whoever. It's always, you don't get to see the gears turn or the machine crashing if it's crashing, because the product you always get is so organized and well done. And so, not surprised that any of that's going the way it's going. This will be super exciting. And then the gear's dope. The shoes look good. I'm a big white shoe guy, and it's a white shoe. So yeah, I'm excited about
White
that.
shoe, and then we got the
Yeah,
bright colors for Miami. You
yeah,
know I
can't miss.
like the hot pink scrunchies and shoes and
They'll
all that.
never, ever, ever change those colors ever, which is cool.
I love
But
it. That's what I love
like
about Wodapalooza.
them needing such a small window to accommodate that many people for something so custom, and they do it well. And we've seen it not done well, right? Remember I don't know if you remember this, but in 20 maybe 15, when it was a gross neon orange year, CrossFit had print presses to make custom jerseys for whatever you wanted. They would do it on site, and there's no telling how many they cycled through at the games because it was walk up. You could do it at the Reebok booth.
Mm,
And so that's why last year it was super weird to me that Noble was like, well, we can't do this. Well, we've seen it done, dog. We know your apparel's better. Because I mean, I remember coming home and washing one of those games jerseys and everything falling off of it, which is, it's okay.
back
It's
in
what Reebok.
2015.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. That apparel changed a lot for Reebok, and rest in peace. But Noble apparel, head and shoulders better. So like, I feel like you could facilitate something like that. With the preface like, hey, this is a quick turnaround thing. The actual garment is good. These little press on things might fall off, but it's kind of the price you pay for that. But yeah, it's very cool to see somebody step in and say, hey, we can accommodate this. And yeah, I think they don't get a lot of credit for like the monster that business is, that tier is, because they're new to us. They are not new.
Right.
If you've seen the Olympics or any version of swimming, which is a massive, massive worldwide sport, they're everywhere. It's like them and Nike, and so
If I go back to my
and
parents'
Speedo.
house and look at, One
Oh
Pieces
no,
from when I was, like, 5, 6 years old in swim
baby
class, it would
Lauren.
be a tier one-piece bathing suit.
Yeah, same, same. That's what I wear now, actually. So
You
uh,
still wear it.
I'm just yeah. It's the land shark. It's the I just wear it out and about. No, they it's very cool, man. And they have a lot of good people that work for them. Rachel Martinez, one of them, former games athlete that runs there. I think their athlete relations stuff. And meet some of their people. They're all good folks, and they're super personable and nice, and they're gracious to be in space. You can't go by their booth and not having a good experience. And so I like the push. It does not seem as elitist that it felt that Noble was doing, right, with prices and all the crazy stuff, and just same thing at the games. And again, I think everybody comes around. You're the second person to do it. You learn from what was before, so it's not a knock on them. It's just it's what you knew at the time. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome, man. I'm excited. I'm more excited to see like people that aren't games athletes have money put back in their pocket because those trips hurt
Yeah.
if you don't have somebody paying for it. Um, Okay, you're gonna get the experience for sure. It's very worth it, and it is all the memories you could possibly want, especially in Miami. But yeah, man, they putting money back in that pocket's a big deal for this pay for play sports. We're getting there. It's not just everybody's trying to do the pro thing, and that's a step. So yeah, I dig it. Big fan.
Alright, what's your bottom line, Dex?
Everybody loves custom stuff. The more the merrier. The more custom shoes, the more custom jerseys, and putting money back in the pockets. This is a net positive for everybody, whether it's Tia or any other company. Like, somebody's got to cut the trail, and then everybody else can walk it and adjust off that.
Hmm. My bottom line is that I love that Noble started the replica jerseys. I
Hmm.
love that they made improvements on the second year by giving proceeds and having more athletes part of the puzzle. But
Yep.
I love that Tier is now elevating that and giving even more athletes opportunity and paying them more. So I
Oh yeah.
can't wait to see this like back and forth from other brands. I hope that this is just, the tip of the iceberg and we'll see
Yes.
we'll start seeing people level up. That's what I
That's
wanna
what we
see.
want. Bring on the dough, folks. Bring on the dough.
Oh, yeah. All right, Dex and I are gonna have so much more Tier Wodapalooza coverage. This is just the beginning, so hopefully you guys will stay with us, and we'll see you next time.